I can't tell you how often I get messages asking if I know of any really cute, short, hand-tied cap synthetic wigs. Well, today I have one to show you. This is Ellen Wille Joy in the color Pastel Blonde Rooted. She has a nearly fully hand-tied cap, just a few closed wefts at the very bottom, like a lot of hand-tied wigs these days have, but the rest of the cap is hand-tied. Super lightweight, no permatease, perfect for summer. So if you've been looking for something like this, let's talk about Joy and see if maybe this could be a good style for you. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm partnering with Name Brand Wigs. So I actually reached out to Name Brand Wigs, and I was looking through different wigs that are short and have a fully hand-tied cap, and I found Joy, and I thought maybe they'd like to have this one reviewed, because I really do get this question all the time, and I just don't really have a lot of experience with fully hand-tied short wigs, and they were totally all for having me do a review of this piece. So I'm really grateful to Name Brand Wigs. I will link this piece in the description below, and I have a coupon code that will save you 30% if you decide this is the style for you, but it actually saves off any Ellen Wille wig and many of the major name brands that they carry, and they carry all of them. So if you're in the market for a wig now or later, keep Name Brand Wigs in mind, because they're a wonderful online retailer and I love them. I've been a customer of theirs for over 5 years, and I really do think they're wonderful, so I'm grateful to them for sending me Joy. Let's take a look at this one from all sides. Really short, sassy in the back. Really sassy in the back. I am just loving short wigs lately. Early in my wig wearing journey, I really wanted to love short wigs, but I wasn't super comfortable with them. But I forced myself to wear them occasionally just so that I could desensitize myself to it. And really, that's half the battle on the wig journey. It's just getting used to seeing yourself with more hair. And if you've suffered from hair loss for any length of time, I just hope that you can eventually get to the point where you can have fun with wigs and you can wear different styles and different colors. My attitude about it is we've suffered long enough. Now it's time for us to have fun with our hair. One thing I love about Joy is she actually has a bit of a longer nape. So with short wigs, the nape is actually this measurement right here on the bottom. And oftentimes short wigs have really short nape measurements. And if you have bio hair, that can be a concern, because depending on your hairline, especially right here on the side, you might be able to see your own bio hair through a very short nape. Now, if you buy colors that match your bio hair, that's probably not a big deal at all, because it will just blend. But if you don't, that can be a concern. So I always tell people, a 2-inch nape or less, you really do need to be aware of your own hairline and whether or not you can wear a nape shorter than that. The nape on this one, 2.75 inches. So I do think that gives a lot more women the opportunity to wear this piece, but it's not super long or thick. I don't really notice it that much on my neck. And in the summer especially, my goal with wig wearing is to try to be as cool as possible. So getting all the hair off your neck and all the hair off the sides here really helps a lot with this. So while it does sit on my neck a little bit, I don't really notice it. Let's take a look one more time. So that's one of the things I really love about this style. Another thing I really love about this style is its light density, but it's got enough hair that it definitely looks like a polished hairstyle. You can actually take a styling product and amp up this style. You're not going to get a lot of volume because this doesn't have any permatease. But if you like more of a piecey, messy look, one of my favorite products is Jon Renau Piece Creme. It is a miracle worker when it comes to styling synthetic wigs. I actually have a video where I show some different styles I like to do with short synthetic wigs, and I show Jon Renau Piece Creme in that video. I'll make sure to link the video below. But honestly, with a wig like this, one of my favorite things is to take tiny little claw clips and do little twists sometimes on both sides. Sometimes I do multiple twists. So I'll do like a twist here, then I'll do another twist here, and I'll do all these fun little twists with clips. And because this has a gorgeous lace front, you can absolutely do that. Let's take a look at this lace front. They did a great job, and it's extended right down to here. So definitely you've got a lot of real estate. Actually, it goes all the way down to here. So there's a lot of styling potential with this one because of that lace front. Let's take a look at it. So you can see there's the ear tab to ear tab. So it's getting a little skinny right there. So I think I was actually feeling that when I thought it went only to temple, but it goes all the way down to the ear tabs. All of this is parting space. They have a nice soft material over the lace right there so that it's not going to be itchy or irritating, but you can part it anywhere on the top. We've got ear tabs with bendable stays. We have got all of this is hand tied. All of this is hand tied. We do have some closed wefts toward the bottom. I actually don't mind those on shorter styles. I'm not doing a whole lot with the style in the back anyway, and it's so short it's not going to blow around in the wind. But having all of this be hand tied makes it lightweight, doesn't have any of the itch factor, in my opinion, that wefting can. And if the wind blows any of the hair around that, you're going to be just fine. You're not going to be able to see wefts or anything. So I think they did a fabulous job with this cap. It's really just a throw and go. It's so easy to wear short wigs like this because really you just plop it on. What I did here is I kind of squeezed those ear tabs in so I get really good secure fit on the sides. That's what those bendable stays in the ear tabs are for. And then you just kind of finger style it however you want to wear it. I personally love to tuck short wigs behind my ears. That's one of my favorite ways to wear them. And then I'll get creative with, you know, styling the top of it. But if you're not an ear tucker, you do have some length here. So if you like having that hair sort of hug your face, this does have length for that. But if you don't like it, really easy to tuck it out of the way, and it's like that hair isn't even there. And what would a short wig video be if I didn't show you with a headband? Headbands are kind of the best trick I have for helping you to get more comfortable wearing wigs, because sometimes you're just not used to seeing yourself with more hair. This is very lightweight. This doesn't have a lot of hair, but it can still be challenging for those of us who've been losing our hair for a long, long time. It's a challenge I don't think most of us expect. So one of my tips is get yourself some cute little headbands, and we can kind of play around with the sides. Because this has a lace front, you can pull it all up if you want to. But what that does is it really tamps down any volume that your eye sees and helps a wig be more comfortable. So if you're struggling with the wig journey and you haven't seen me give this tip before, I will link my Amazon store in the description below. I've bookmarked a ton of cloth covered headbands. They really are my favorite because they're easy to wear with wigs. I've yet to find one that squeezes my head, squeezes my head, and they just come in all different styles. So honestly, if you're struggling at all, grab a few headbands. It really will make a huge difference. Now this wig is made with regular synthetic fibers, but I'm not sensing a ton of shine on this one. I honestly find that oftentimes, not always, and especially with some colors, Ellen Wille does a really good job of keeping their synthetics from being too shiny. And I would say the fibers on this feel just a little bit drier. They're not super silky. And I think that helps keep the shine at bay. And it just helps to make this look really, really lightweight and realistic. They remind me of kind of the thin, not thin, but more fine hair, like wispy fine hair. Ellen Wille is really good with those kind of fibers, and it does help to look a lot more realistic and not like synthetic. I think that this wig right here does look a lot like human hair just to the eye. So I think if you're worried about people knowing that you're wearing a wig, they're not going to know with this one. Let's talk about fit. Ellen Wille is known for running small, more average petite than some other of the major name brands out there. And I would say this is fitting really true to Ellen Wille size. I am getting no extra cap up here. I have a very petite over the top of my head, Most brands, I get extra caps, so I can like pull it up and I can bend it forward. I'm not getting any of that on the top. I'm also not getting the best coverage on the sides. So the ear tabs are right there. You can see a little bit of my bio hair. It's not terrible, but if you have head measurements that are substantially bigger than mine, all of my measurements are in the description. I have a 21¼ circumference. I believe, and I always forget these numbers, I believe I am 12¼ from ear to ear and 12½ from front of my hairline down to the bottom of my hairline. If you're bigger than I am, I would not really recommend this piece unless you like your wigs really, really secure and snug, and you can blend your bio hair on the sides. Because this is a rooted blonde, my bio hair actually doesn't, it blends fairly well. It isn't a perfect match, but nobody is going to notice. It's not enough of a difference that anybody's going to notice. So I pull my bio hair out, and then that way, when I tuck, my bio hair is getting tucked with the wig, and that also helps to make it look realistic. So if your measurements are similar to mine or even smaller, this could be a great wig to consider. It really is fitting me like it was made for my head. I am getting a little bit of stretch. I've had stretchier caps. This does have stretch, but not a ton. So I really would recommend this more for an average petite head measurement versus true average or even more toward average large. And one more thing I'd like to mention, Ellen Wille lace is a very light colored lace. I do find often that you can see the lace on me just a little bit because it's so light colored. I usually trim my wig, the lace on my Ellen Wille wigs, with a pinking shears because adding a little scalloped edge to the lace really helps so that you can't see it. Also, if the wig is fitting you a little snug, you could get a line of demarcation where that lace is because it's snug against your head. Again, using a scalloped edge scissors, a pinking shears, will help with that a ton. I have a video showing how I do that, and I'll link it below. There is a little controversy about whether or not you should cut a scalloped edge in your lace. Some people say that it can cause the lace to lift because you're losing the tension on it. On these major name brand synthetics, that lace is a little bit thicker than budget synthetics or human hair, and I haven't really had an issue with that. If that does happen though, to me it's worth it because I don't really like to see that lace. So if you were to do that and then over time you find that lace isn't laying flat anymore, a little bit of a super water soluble adhesive will fix that. And the great thing about water soluble adhesive is it's super easy to remove with just a wet washcloth, and it doesn't leave any residue on the lace. I have two favorites. I'll link my reviews for both of them below. It stays roll-on adhesive. I used it for years, and now my favorite is Lace Stick by Wig Guru. So if you ever experience that, there's a tip for you. Honestly, we all have to make our best decision. And if you're worried about the lace lifting, if that's more concerning to you than being able to see the lace, then don't cut the lace. But for me, I'd rather not see the lace and take my chances on the lifting because it really hasn't been an issue for me. One more tip before we talk about color, bangs. So I often find bangs on wigs are long on me. I have a 2.5 inch measurement from my hairline down to where I would want bangs to fall. And usually they're a little long on me. I have a video showing how to take a thinning razor and just trim up bangs. It's so easy. You don't have to have hair cutting skills at all to be able to use a thinning razor to do that. I have heard from easily 50 to 100 wig sisters who have watched my video showing how to do it and have done it and are amazed what a difference it makes. So if you like to wear your bangs forward and you've got a similar measurement to mine, just check out that video. It truly is something that anybody can do. I find it sweeps really well to the side and I don't mind it, so I'll probably leave it for now. And let me just remind you, I always tuck these, so don't think when you get it it's not gonna have hair on the sides. I know that can be a little misleading. It's just a habit of mine to just tuck, so I wanted to make sure that you remembered that. So lots of goodies in the description below. I have tons of tip videos because I know how hard this is. I really do. And so every time I get a question, I make a video, because if one person has the question, many have the question. So definitely check out the description box in my videos to make sure that you're getting all the help that you need so that you can have fun. I know you can get to the point where you have fun with this. Also, if you haven't subscribed or liked this video, can you remember to do that? That helps the algorithm so much. It's so weird. Sometimes I'll go search for a video. Somebody asks me, hey, did you make a video on this? I'll go to YouTube and I'll actually search my name and the video name, and sometimes it's like the 10th result. So the more you engage with these videos, the more that I will show up in search when someone needs help. I'd appreciate it. All right, let's talk about color. Pastel Blonde Rooted. So let's take it off. I love to show these colors to you when it's not focusing on me. So we have got, what I love about Ellen Wille is they do include color codes. And I have a color index that breaks down the color codes. So honestly, if you've never seen color codes before, check out that color index. It will tell you what the numbers mean. So in this one, we have a 23.22.26. So a 23 is actually a blend. One of the hard things about wigs, these companies will blend colors. So a 23 isn't actually on the color chart. It's more than likely, it's a blend of champagne blonde and light golden blonde. But how much of each one, that's hard to know. So that's why the color segment in these videos is so helpful. So a 23 is the blend, a 22 is a champagne or light ash blonde, and a 26 is a medium golden blonde. So it's just a bunch of different blonde tones blended very well. It is not a heavily highlighted piece at all. They're very well blended. And then we've got a little bit of a darker root. They don't include the root code. I would say this root is probably maybe an 8 or a 10. It's not a super dark root at all, and it's just a shadow. You can see they take some of those highlights all the way up to the root. So it's really just a shadow. So I would consider this a neutral blonde. In some light, it's going to lean a little warm. And in some light, it's going to lean more cool, but it's not going to look gray. This isn't one of those ashy blondes that looks gray. So I would say if you like neutral blondes, it's not a yellow blonde. It's not a super warm golden blonde. It's just a really nice blend of kind of medium and light blondes. Let's get outside so you can see this color outside. Please check out name brand wigs next time you're in the market, or if you love this one, the link to this wig is below, as well as the 30% off coupon code. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I appreciate you so much. I'll talk to you soon. All right, it finally stopped raining. It has been raining for days. I don't know, can you see my girls back there? I had to come out and let the chickens out. They haven't been out in a few days. They get a little stir crazy. They did such a good job on this root, and you can see it's not warm looking out here. See if I can get too close. All right, there you go. Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Here are a few videos I think you might enjoy. Go ahead and click on one and watch.